Mode.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Factor 7 Chronicles. Excuse me, we're counting down another month coming up here. We're already now down to the 25th. The 25th. How does it feel? What have you been doing? Have you done what you needed to do this month? And don't I say this at the end of every month? Well, we should be checking and balancing a lot more than every month going by because there's only 12 of them. There's only 12 months in a year. So if we wait to the end of every month to actually do something or check where we're at, we're probably not going to be where we want to be. Today I want to talk all about business because another thing that I've been finding lately with people I've been talking to, and interestingly being able to bring them into our business, is they're so disillusioned with their business. They always think that somebody else has something better. And I'm wondering if you do too. When you're working your business, do you see something over there and say, well, I wish I had what they had, and if I had what they had, I'd be more successful? Do you find yourself doing that? Because I know there was times when in my whole entire career, oh, I like that job when I was working, or that looks a little bit better than what I've got. So we have to sit and say, okay, if that's the way you feel, why are you here? Why do you continue to stay? Why are you not over there? Why are you not taking the steps to go over there? Or is it just the matter that you're not working at all and you're looking for an excuse why you're not being successful in your business? You see, we went on a little test run here with a couple of my team members, and I just simply asked them to do what I asked them to do. Just go out, build a site, put it out there. Don't take too long doing it. Get it there, get your leads, and see what happens. And instantly there was success. Now this may not go to where these people buy in at the Dominator package or anything like that, but they had success. Success they never had before because they never stepped there before. And I'm not saying they should have before now, I'm just saying they didn't. So we have to look at things. If it's not working for you in one way that you're working, perhaps it's not the business, it's just the way you're working the business. And maybe a change is due. Just like everything else, if you brush your teeth one way and you go to the dentist and the dentist says, hey, I don't think you're doing a very good job of this. Well, do you ask the dentist, well, how should I be doing it and get it done right? Or do you go back home and still do it wrong again? If your doctor tells you to go home and lose weight, do you just go home and eat the candy box and the fried chicken? Or do you do something about it? See, that's the whole point. Whenever anybody called you in a business, anywhere, it doesn't matter if it was offline, online, anywhere. What did they say to you? Are you coachable? Can you follow directions? And will you do it? So I'm going to ask you today, are you coachable? Are you following the directions? Think about that. Before you say, well, I like the sprinkles on that ice cream over there better, the grass is always greener on the other side. It always is. So water your grass. Make it greener. Make them envious of you. Make them envious of you. Understand what we have here. This is amazing. I have been looking at other systems because I have to. I have to understand what they're doing so we can ensure that ours is much better than everyone else. What does Facebook do? What does Twitter do? How does that work? The incredible amount of programming it takes to take all of those and put them into one. Think about that. When anybody ever tells you, well, this doesn't look like something, say, holy man, you have no clue. Because wouldn't it be a dream team if you didn't have to post out to Twitter, post out to Facebook, post out to this, post out to that, where you could do it with one application. And they're going to say, uh-huh, I'd like that. How about if it was syndicated? How about if you could do a wiki on your own tower with a few couple steps? How would you like that? We have so much here. The grass is not greener on the other side. But if you're not going to work your business the way and learn about it, understand what you have at your fingertips, and start using it, the grass is always going to be greener over there. You're always going to get distracted, and you're always going to feel deflated. Well, I'm over here, and all the better stuff is over there. Well, all I can say is this. You're going to be spending a lot of money going over there and then coming back again. I test the systems. I spend the money so you don't have to. Does it work? Doesn't it? No. Let's not include it. What, does this comp plan be better for our people or not? Nope. Too many pass-ups. Let's not do it. We work extremely hard at trying to bring you the best. So stand up. Stand up out there, people. You have something amazing. Amazing. But you have to believe that yourself. And I'm going to challenge you this week to go out and prove it to yourself. Go out there and prove it to yourself. Go get some inexpensive leads. See what the people say. You know, show them your tricks. Invite them to our calls. You actually have to get up, go out, and do something. Or you're just going to sit there in your seat and look at all the things going by you. But you're going to keep doing that forever. Because if you feel like that right now, the grass will always be greener. You're always going to be hopping fences, and you're never going to find what you need. So that's it for me today. I know it's a little bit of a rant, but I hope it's a little bit of a kick in the butt to get you out there and working, because you need to make money. You need to be successful. You need to prove it to yourself. So now I'm going to turn the call over to Mr. Jim Rivas, and I think you're in Atlanta today, so welcome to the cold part of the world. Come on out, Jim.
Good morning, Mark, and everyone else. Welcome to Factor 7 Chronicles for this Monday, and oh yeah, it's cold here. Cold by this Southern Boys standards in the northern side of Atlanta. I'm just not used to it being this cold at the end of March, and I'm still having to pinch myself and realize that it's almost April and it's still as cold outside. However, we'll live through it and survive, and just continue to look forward to 3 months from now when we roll back to New Orleans for good. So it'll be a good thing. Now, Mark, what a topic this morning, and it's funny because I had a couple of things happen over the weekend that really drove this home, this whole point. The first thing I want to say about where we are in JMAP, you know, I talk to people about what we have all the time, and what I have to do is actually, you know, if I don't want business, is keep my mouth shut, okay? Because every time I talk to a business owner or someone who is trying to do something on the internet or wants to do something on the internet, I generate business, and business, I'm talking about dollars, people, you know, chunking their money down. And, you know, and all this R&D that I've done here in the last few months continue to do to find the sweetest marketing spot and funnels. You know, what I've found pretty much is everywhere I drop my drill bit, oil comes up. And that's a really neat and exciting thing, because what it means is, you know, we can really, you know, you can really attack this from just about any angle, any niche. You know, if you don't want to be in, you know, in the recruiting mode, for example, and a network marketing style model, fine, go be a retailer. There's plenty of active as well as residual income to be made there. If you just like recruiting people and building leverage by team building, you can do that too. You can do all of that and a whole lot more. In fact, when we continue Thursday night on Vampire Session Part 2, we're going to get more into the into details of basically exactly what I'm doing, how I'm generating multiple streams of income using the very same thing every one of you have your hands on right now. You know, it's nothing different. You know, and that's one thing I love about JMAPs. Like, wow, I'm actually showing everybody exactly what I do, exactly precisely what I do, and I don't have to leave anything out because there might be some quantum technological step that people can't grasp. And you know, if I show them, they'll be like, oh, I can't do that. Everything that I do is happening on the very same software platform that you have access to. And I have two other points to make about this. The second company I got involved in this industry, I got involved in when it was a startup. And all we had was the idea. That was it. They didn't have a product yet. They didn't really have anything yet. You know, but it came across, you know, the opportunity came to my attention at a time when I was ready to make a change from my first opportunity, just because of just political circumstances, if you will. And so I got involved in the second company, a product, and I made $400,000 in the first 9 months in that business. Now, granted, that wasn't, you know, the 7 figures I was used to, yet we had no products to ship, nothing. And when they actually shipped the product, it was nothing approaching what we have in terms of value. And there was a very narrow market, and this is actually where I met Mark, was in this company. And, you know, this product was so niche, it was really just, you know, it was a nice product for personal development, but it was, you know, it was a very narrow market compared to compared to what we have here. And understand, when we created JMA and this whole concept, if you go back to the roots, we started this whole thing with just the idea, hey, we want to create the ultimate opportunity, something that was totally commercially legitimate so people could easily make money, feel good about what they're doing, have true exit strategies, as well as something with some beef, something where you didn't just go on some roll for a period of time because it was hot, people didn't know any better, and so they'd sign up and then it would cool off. Like what happens to just about all of these businesses, the hot ones in the market today, a year from now they won't even be there because they continue, anything that's simply based on a perpetual recruiting model eventually dries up because it's just obvious because you run out of people to recruit, for one, and as that market matures, if you don't have some sort of viable retail channels, there's nothing to perpetuate it. Really isn't. So that's why, for example, if you look at MLM that's product-based and there's product channeling, even if distributors, for example, don't make money, they may continue to use the health product or whatever, and that's how that's how you can build long-term residual with those companies. Now, most of the time you have to starve for a few years before that actually becomes anything comes to fruition. However, still, that's why I know the people I know that have been in this industry as long as I've been in it or longer. The ones that have stayed with one company, for example, and selling MLM type products. Their income's been stable and they've continued to grow over that period of time because people consume their products, and yet they have a lot of attrition, and so they don't they keep working it, but there's always some level of business retention, so it feels more like a real business. And we looked at all this stuff, and it led to and we always knew part of our program was going to be a system to help people with the complication of internet technology. However, we didn't know in the very beginning that we were going to end up with such an aggressive goal as far as a system that would change it, on a massive global scale. And that's just, that's a lesson in, get started, take imperfect action towards your objective, and all the answers come your way in the process, because, for me it was like, well, in my age and experience, like I really wanted to do something important, didn't want to just get into this perpetual creating a new deal every 2 years kind of mode that many people I know have engaged in, and I wanted to be challenged. Most of all, I wanted to make a difference, have it, really make a difference for people who won't put in the effort. Now, my third point about this, and you might find this, and this just popped into my head over the weekend, and it's funny that we're on this topic this morning. I noticed two kinds of people. I come across a lot of people, and because I'm an entrepreneur and people know, they always read articles about this company or that company and how well they're doing and this, that, or the other thing. And, I find that I never read about other companies. It doesn't matter what industry, unless I'm really interested in their business model or something. I don't, it's not something, like I don't read the business section of the newspaper, ever, all right? And the reason is simply because the time, if I add up all the time that I might spend, looking and reading about other people's success, I'm taking away time from my ability to create my own success at a greater level. And I noticed this phenomena about business creators, about product and job creators. These, this is uniform. People who actually are in the process of doing and building really don't take time to read about others. And it's a kind of a mindset. If you're constantly looking at what other people are doing, evaluating what other people are doing, well, then you're really not focusing enough on what you're doing. Okay? And I mean, there's some, there is some things to learn from studying other people's ideas. But the difference is, hey, you sit there, if you read a story, and a couple of these came up at some retail stores online and all, and it's like, oh, well, they're doing this, that, someone's point, oh, they've done all, I think one of them was a clothing store. It's like, well, I think that's really fantastic. I'm a big fan of all success. Yet, I'm less interested in the details of how they did it, because I pretty much know how they did it. They had an idea, right? They worked hard. They had passion and belief for it, and this particular company is about 10 years old, and they stuck with it. And they stuck with it through, generally 4 or 5 years of, concept development. And, in the first 5 years, really, of any type of virtual business is usually, it's usually the most if you're going to say difficult times, it's certainly the most challenging getting any business off the ground. But, my point is that, I know people who, you're either in the game creating it, in which case all your energy and attention is geared towards creating your story and being interested in your story. Or, you're on the bench watching the game going, well, look at that player or look at that player. And this is a real, I've come to realize this is an acid test of those who are engaged, right? And, people who are engaged, I don't know if you're like this, but, I just don't really care about what other people are doing to be successful, other than people who are affected or inside of our group, for example. I care about all your success, but when I hear about other companies or what they're doing or that, outside of competitive information, if they're competitors of ours, I really, I think it's all great. I think it's all good. Good on them. And you know what? I don't spend a lot of time thinking about them, other than if it's like I said, it's a competition. I think about how to attack them. Okay. And I was looking for the weaknesses, not the strengths. And I'm not in awe. All right. And that's, I guess, the biggest thing. I'm never in awe. I look at Steve Jobs or even Microsoft, these big companies. What those people did, I'm not in awe of it. Impressed, sure, but in awe, no. Because you know what? I know myself. I know each of you. Every one of us has it in us to do the same thing, all right? And it's, like you said, you got to be lucky. I said, well, luck is about being on time. And your luck's created by the fact that you're engaged in the game, and opportunity comes your way, and you're able to seize it. So it may look like luck, but it's really not luck. It's if you have to be playing the game for your business to thrive through luck. But most of those companies, and they were on time. They were leaders. They were pioneers in an industry. And from that perspective, you study what they do to learn. But still, people become in awe of individuals, and it's like, and I think when as in myself, in my own position, and going to events and people treat me, rock star treatment, all that, it always kind of put me off a little bit. Because it was kind of like, I'm just a person, just like every one of you are. And, maybe I work a little harder than some, maybe I know a little more than a few, but, when it's all said and done, the thing that made it and makes it for me today is that I have a work ethic, and that I stay focused and work every day. Right? Those are the things that are the major ingredients of success. Not that I have all the answers, that because I'm working at it, the answers find me. Otherwise known as luck in some cases, right? It's lucky to find an answer to a problem that you've been working on. But I think the other thing that happens when you sit in awe of another business or whatever, it's like Mark said, you look at the greener grass, it really zaps your energy, and it zaps, it takes away from what you're doing and transfers attention, energy onto something somebody else did. And I promise you, those business owners doing those other things, if they would tell you, if they were honest, no, stay focused on what you're doing, because that's how you're going to create your reality. Is being in awe of what you're doing, of your opportunity, of whether you get out of bed in the morning and do the work you're supposed to do, or you having the conversations, or you building the niche. I'll say this: I'm absolutely certain that in our business, the people that are going to be making multiple millions of dollars a year are going to be people who find unique niches, unique marketing angles. No, they're not going to be using company marketing funnels or anything. They're going to create their own. How do I know that? Well, because that's what I did. And every company I was in, I looked at what they had. I said, well, I'll reframe this. I'll turn it into, something expanded. In other words, I'll expand on it. And that expansion will be, in most cases, it was training or support or something that's valuable to people looking at an opportunity. Okay, so like I talked about Thursday night, true duplication is truly doing what leaders do. And not just the making money mechanics. I'm talking about being the leader. I'm talking about carving out your niche. And you know what? When you go out there and, lay claim to your turf, it'll feel a little wobbly at first, right? But you'll know you're striking a chord, hitting a nerve with response. You see, people, it's all simply about, deciding who you're going to be, where your niche is, getting attention, and being consistent. Being consistent. And that's, if you will, the frame of reference, the aura, if you will, of what you're doing. In the middle of that has to be an energetic entrepreneur that just gets up every day and goes to work and saws wood every single day. And, you know, when you look at your time, you know, the distribution of your time every day, if you're out to make money, it ought to be, sure enough, better be excelling. Okay? You see, passive income, affiliate income, multiple streams of income off the web, they happen as a consequence of engaging in active sales activity. My point is, as you continue to build a web presence, as you continue to push your signature out there on the web, you know, you have your AdSense running these different things, yeah, you know, you're going to get to a point where you start selling that stuff, and it's passive in nature because it's people who maybe stumbled on your site and, you know, what your main thing is wasn't what they're looking for, so they buy something else, or a customer of yours buys something else from you, which is fine. You know, if you're, like, if in the home business realm, I know a lot of our members who make money who, you know, maybe sell some different tools and things, you know, that can go along with and help make money along the way. So it's complementary to the activity and, I mean, to the business at hand. And you know, one of the things, you know, and I know, Mark, you know, a lot of our members get this, and it coincides with the people who actually make money consistently in JMA. You know, they understand our place in the marketplace. They understand that, hey, this is perfect for being what? For being in the transportation business. You see, the money in any type of industry, any industry, is always in the person who can take people from point A to B. All right? The people traveling point A to B, very few of them actually make money, but it's the travelers, the people who are in the transportation business. That's where most of the dollars happen when you think about it. Case in point, airlines. All right, airlines fly a lot of business people around, right? The sales meeting and all that, and you know, back in the 90s, that was, you know, right before the internet. That's how we did it. We flew everywhere, right? And you know, I know how much we used to spend. I used to spend myself on air travel and travel in general, just to get, you know, make presentations in front of companies and whatnot. And I can tell you, you know, when I bought a plane ticket and made $1,000 plus investment to go to a city to a meeting, and there wasn't any guarantee that I was going to come out of there with any profits, all right? And I could look over a 10-year period of time and see, you know, somewhere around $500,000 spent on travel, say, wow, you know, we made money in our business, you know, but I assure you that the people in the transportation business made theirs too. And then everywhere you look, if you pay attention to that, that is simply true. So, you know, the frame shop down the corner, all right? Do you want to be in the frame shop business? Well, maybe that's your passion, you know, but if you're in the JMA business in Factor 7, you have something for the frame shop owner. You have something that can help the frame shop, or the network marketer, or the opportunity seeker, or the large corporation, all right? The question is, can you see, you know, and by understanding what we do, and this is what Mark was talking about, see, by understanding what we have, grasping the enormity of it, and realizing, hey, you know, maybe I don't use all the firepower, but, you know, if I just simply tell the story to people who they have money, and I'm going to get paid for doing what? Just simply being the messenger. Again, you know, being the messenger, telling people about the transit, what transportation is available to them. And that's, you know, that's where, you know, stable money is. You know, the airlines, even with all the internet and everything, right, they're still there, aren't they? You know, even made it through 9/11, they're still there. Why? Because people need to have transportation. If you look at, like, cell phones, where's the money in cell phones, by the way? Most people don't realize the money in cell phones is in the towers and infrastructure. If you invest in companies, that's where you would invest. You know, if you had a piece of land and you wanted to make money in the cell phone business, you'd put a tower on your piece of land, because those things are cash cows. All right? And these are little details, right? They might not be the most glamorous thing that's in the headlines of all the daily financial pages, but this is where the money is made. All right? Same thing. You know, so when we made a decision to create a system like we did, it was, okay, you know, the point of perspective was first just to create the solution that did the job and got the job done. And as you know, the knowledge and availability of this platform and system becomes available out in the marketplace, in other words, as people learn more and more about it and start more and more people using it, it produces, you know, it produces its own change in the marketplace, its own awareness. When I first saw Facebook, for example, I'm like, okay, this is going to be something kids play with, right? You know, I never really thought it would have a real business application. Yet, you know, it's just gotten that popular where people figure out, hey, there's so many people there. And we can sell stuff because people buy what we have. That's why, for example, if you were selling soap, you may not go to Facebook. But if you sell an opportunity or products that people in business would use, hey, that's, you know, independent entrepreneurs tend to gather there and they're accessible through Facebook. You know, and so on and so forth. You can simply look at, you know, just about everywhere. As long as you understand where what you're doing fits into the big picture, you know, it's really all about talking to people about it. And see, this is one of the dirty little secrets. It's fun, all right? It's really easy to do because, you know, if you compare an hour a day on the phone versus an hour a day building websites, I got news for you. You're going to make more money an hour a day on the phone. You're going to have a lot more fun, too, all right? And, you know, I know we'll be talking about stories here in the next 12 months of people that, they're like, I don't even know how to set up a JMAP. I don't care. They might be dominator level. They're not interested in that. They're making money, and that's why they're here because, you know, I don't know anything about drilling oil, you know, but if I had the chance to own an oil well and punch holes in the ground, I would, right? Because there's money in it. Okay, so this is the shift from an emotional perspective, and I'm not saying just be cold, hard-headed, it's all about the money, except for from the business perspective, because, yeah, that's what your business is about. That's why you're in business, to make money, and you know, give yourself permission to make some, but also give yourself the chance to make some, and realize that, you know, you can go, and mark my words, I believe this very strongly, that, you know, we've had, you know, first off, we have a very high level of, you know, member retention in our program, which is always a good thing, certainly higher than anything I've ever seen. Yet, you know, I know there's people who've gone off and said, well, they want to do something else because they're just, you know, gone to the greener grass, and you know, they're going to be back because, you know, at the end of the day, and I've seen this in the opportunity world, people say, okay, they finally come to realize, you know, the thing to sell is the thing that's in demand, not the thing that's necessarily the most exciting thing of the day. Because eventually the thing in demand becomes the most exciting thing of the day. But see, that happens when all of us go out and spread the word. Okay? You know, if you're sitting back saying, well, we're going to wait till Jim lights all this up and, you know, and Jim and Mark, yeah, when they get it ripping and roaring, well, then we'll get in and get busy. Well, you know, if you've been following the emails, and by the way, the new one for this week is posted out there on homebusiness2show.com. Links in your back office down there at the top of the news roll, and you know, the dollar meter keeps clicking up. And the funny thing about this is it's silly because I'm hardly putting any time in to the sales side. When I say hardly, I mean hardly, and that excites me for you guys. It excites me for me. I'm trying to figure, hey, I could probably set up a little call center and be knocking down multiple seven figures within the first 12 months. And it's just that much in demand. And here's the thing: people they're starving for solutions. I know what we have, even in the commercial sense, competitive in the marketplace. All right, because we've seen, you know, I've talked to people. That's how I know that. You know, there's some, you know, a competition goes in and talks about $20,000 to do, you know, something that is can't even touch what a dominator program is, and that's what they're facing, for example. You know, but what they're not doing is educating and explaining to the population. You see, Facebook came out and changed how people thought about the internet and that they could use it. You know, what we have has that same capability involved in it because, you know, thanks to the social networks, people are now more engaged on the internet. They understand the concept of dialogue, right? So, you know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, before people knew that, hey, our idea was way ahead of its time. People didn't grasp it, you know. However, now to go out and say, hey, to a business, this is, you know, what you really need to do. You don't want to really outsource. You might want to outsource setting up a website and technical stuff for that. But if you want to stay in connection with your customers and really create a massive presence for your business on the web, you know, you want your authority and your knowledge to shine through. You want all of your, you know, you want your employees, your marketing department, whatever, you want them conversing, having the dialogue on the web, and you don't want middlemen doing it. All right? In other words, just like what happened in the printing industry years ago, this technology was designed to do the same thing, to eliminate the middle guy, right, and bring direct access to, you know, it's what we call point source data capture. The idea starts with a certain person. Well, that person now has the skills to put the information and to publish the information. They've had that for a long time. I mean, think about it. People type up this elaborate Word document and send it to somebody else to put on their website. Now, how dumb is that, right? Or how wasteful is that? It's wasteful. Okay, so this, when you look at the different things that we've built here, we can just talk about all the automation. We can talk really at the end of the day about simplifying the internet dialogue, and that's really from a future perspective. I mean, I think about the other opportunities I see out there in their marketing, educational products still or seminars. I'm like, wow, can you see yourself walking into a business selling one of those and having them, pull out their checkbook and write in a check? And the answer is really no, because businesses don't really want to learn. They want it done. They want a solution, and they'll pay for it. They don't want that solution to be, hey, go study a bunch of information, and and then from there you'll be able to learn how to do this, and then eventually be good at it and make money at it. Because they're like, no, that's not my business. Yeah, every business uses Microsoft Word, right? Just about. Why? Because it's just a tool now, and it's part of their daily operating. It's part of what's required to be in business, especially to communicate. Right? So those are the difference in the positions. And think about it as we think about selling. Think about who's saying what. Are we in the dialogue? Understanding what you have your hands on in the macro and in the big picture. It's just simply nothing out there. And this is the exciting part. Our list of features and things to add to our capabilities of our system. We have multiple notebooks, black notebooks full of ideas, and these ideas will all see the light of day over time. Just like every time Facebook, it changes just about daily. Different systems do, and it's we've had to accept that model. It's like, well, these platforms are living, breathing, the best of the best, and adopt that model going forward. Yet for you, do you want to, it just really comes down to this: do I want to make a ton of money, right now on creating the rush and sharing the information with people, right? And here's the thing: you can do that while at the same time building many streams of income for yourself in all these niches, right? You do it all at the same time, and take the expertise you develop using the system and share that with other people, and do it with certainty, because this is what this is what's going to attract people, because everybody needs the answer. And you guys will see once we hit the tipping point of viral explosion, it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen before. I know that's coming. I know it's not far away. So those of you who are going to make money doing that are going to be the ones who, or what, have the dialogue going, with your customers, with your prospects. And I'm talking about independent of the JMA, because you add value. People do business with people. At the end of the day, they prefer doing business with people. Okay, and so when they establish a relationship with a company, it's people. They can come out. We invite them to calls so they can hear people. Okay, so never forget that. So you just simply be the person with the message, the person that can help them, and then be helpful. You'll be surprised how much money you can make and how fast. So it went a little longer than I planned on going this morning, but Mark, it was a good rant. It was a good way to start the week, and absolutely fantastic. And all I have to say is this: I'm stunned myself every week. When I see what's going on, how fast the team of horses is cranking up in front of me, and it's like, hey, it's the culmination of a dream coming true, and and it's just really amazing to see it and know what this, we've just begun. Wealth's created when you're in the right place at the right time. Let me tell you, look at the history of any of these programs, even the ones that are firecrackers. Who makes all the money? It's people there in the beginning. And we're not going to be one of those firecracker programs, but understand, especially when you're talking about long-term income, longevity, residual income. Hey, there's always advantage to being there first. There will always be that. So it'll be that way for you too here. So make it happen for yourself. We look forward to seeing you. We got a full call spread this week, and we look forward to seeing you out on those calls. Get people there Thursday. Second part of the Vampire series. And this, we're going to get into more nuts and bolts this time. Money mechanics, exactly how we're doing it. What is the exact detailed strategy? I'm going to tell all, because at the center of how I'm doing it is JMAP, right? So people can tell them how we're doing it, but they're going to need that piece of technology to make it as simple as they're going to see it. So bring people to that call. Let me make you money. That's just that simple. So, Mark, thanks for getting the call started this morning, and for everyone else out there, you make it a fantastic day and a fantastic week, because you know what? Only you can. This is Jim Reeves from Atlanta signing off. This call is a wrap.